Preview though, because at 10:30, what we're going to try to do is go through what is my favorite preseason magazine. Athlon comes out with one. There are a couple of others that come out yearly. But as a child, and even as an adult, growing up and now as an adult, a quasi-adult, Lindy Sports Magazine is the one that's kind of like my college. I hate when people say it's like my so-and-so Bible, because there really is only one Bible, right? I don't want to defame or anything like that. But this is my go-to. If there is a Magna Carta, if you will, of college football sports preview, Lindy Sports is that. Lindy Davis, the owner, founder, and publisher of Lindy Sports Magazine, will be joining us at the bottom of the hour, 10:30 Eastern Time, boys and girls, to walk us through his magazine. It is out there on shelves right now. Go get it. I got mine over here at Books A Million, over here by Target and whatever that shopping center is off of Paul Huff Parkway and off of 75. Go get it. I'm telling you, I was reading through it as best I could last night after my technology trauma that I went through. By the way, can I just if I could curse on the air right now, I would curse every cell phone, every alarm clock, anything. Like, I'm already a Luddite, but man, if I could crush every piece of equipment that I could find right now because of the last 24 hours. That said, we're going to be here with you till 12 o'clock, breaking down the 2022 college football season. And of course, later in the fall, when football starts, we will be live at Aubrey's here in Cleveland, Tennessee. Beautiful, bucolic Bradley County. It's not as hot today as it has been, but a beautiful day outside. Can't wait for college football to start. And, of course, I've also got my cuz, Robert Flowers, Coach Robert Flowers, if you will, joining me. Coach, you said earlier, you made a little snide remark when we were on the golf course a couple of days ago about how it's a month early to do a college football preview show. My thing is,
too soon.
My thing is though, first of all, it's never too soon to talk college football. Secondly, when the magazine comes out, when these publications come out, it really is one of those things where I voraciously pour through them. It's the way that sensitive 70s guy Chad Hamby probably reads a Marvel comic book. This is like my thing. I can read it like 20 times and get something new every single time. So we're going to be going through that. Of course, we're going to be talking about your beloved Tennessee Vols, as we are part of the official Vol Network of your beloved Tennessee Vols. But this is an SEC show, and I want to get into, there are going to be times where we're going to kind of pour through this and get into a larger SEC football picture, if you will. And the reason for that, if you're watching mixedtv.tv, you can see the two gentlemen over here to my left. Look at the looks on their faces. This is what I got to stare at every time we start talking about college football. There's an expectancy, Coach Flowers, inside Vol Nation. I think there's a trepidated expectancy with Tennessee fans right now. I think there is, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, that sensitive 70s guy, Chad Hamby, of course, is not here with us, but he is even pregnant with expectation. He can't wait to birth that out come October and September. He's convinced that y'all are going to go 10-2 this year. I've heard the gamut from Vol Nation about expectations this year. Anywhere from, you've got what do y'all call them, Negavols, where they come out here and they say, well, we're 6-6, we'll be lucky to go 7-5, 8-4, and then they're called Negavols. Get out of here. Why don't you root for somebody else? I've heard all that. But then I've also heard the 10-2 stuff, where if you look at the schedule, and we're going to go through the schedule and break it down, Big Country Sam Bowerman, this is a schedule starting with Tennessee, with just a top-down look, very topsoil type analysis. In my mind, there are usually, it's probably true of most programs, but there are really like 4 or 5 games when you look at the schedule, they're going to be determinative of whether or not Vol Nation, hashtag Vol Nation, decides whether or not this is a successful season. We were arguing before we came on air about what those 5 games are, because you got one that's a little bit different than Tennessee Homer Joe. I personally, in my mind, and I'm going to throw it over to you guys, in my mind, if you look at this 2022 season, Florida's always going to be in that list until you guys can start beating them consistently. I don't think any Tennessee fan is going to look at the season. Y'all could go at 11-1, lose to Florida, and you probably would still be ebullient. But still, though, Florida fans would be talking junk to you, and that's not going to sit well with you. So Florida's always going to be there. But in my mind, you look at the schedule, you've got Pitt, you've got Florida, you've got Kentucky, you've got LSU, and there's another. Well, really, those four. You might throw Big Country. You threw Carolina in there. Talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, I think Beamer, he's actually turned that program around during the later half of the season. Those guys actually believe in him. He brought in Spencer Rattler, who was a great, a high recruit going into Oklahoma. His head coach, Lincoln Riley, there, he has learned some things. The thing that Beamer's going to have to do is control him being a hothead. You can tell that he lashes out at his players for not doing, quote-unquote, the right thing when sometimes that's on him. Sometimes he runs too much, but if you can get him out of his own head and turn him into a productive quarterback, I think that he can cause some problems for any team that he goes against, because he does have the speed, he has the arm strength, and he has the accuracy when he's not rattled. When you do get him rattled, that's when the problems occur. But South Carolina, when those guys believe in themselves, they will show up and they can almost beat anybody.
So in your mind, again, we're at the beginning of a 2-hour show here.
Yeah.
We might even be able to change your mind as we go through this.
Yeah.
But you're saying Pittsburgh, Carolina, Kentucky, LSU. So you're not believing in Kentucky?
Not so much Pittsburgh. And the reason being, they lost their all-star, their quarterback. That's like once in a program for them, quarterback that they had. And, they're not going to have another guy like him. Kentucky, no. Kentucky, they can have their best season, and Tennessee can have their first.
So you're hold on. So we're already starting here. So are you totally dismissing that Kentucky team on this schedule? You're not going to put it in the group.
It's like with Kentucky, you got to look at Kentucky and Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like you look at Tennessee and Florida. Until they prove they can do it, they can't.
But Kentucky has beaten you over the last
twice?
Well, I don't know. I don't
like
keep
our worst decade and a half in history, and they beat us twice. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
Until they do it consistently, we're not worried about Kentucky.
So okay, so Kentucky finished second in our division last year, right? They won 9 ball games, 10 ball games with the bowl game. And you're telling me that Tennessee's going to go into the season. Y'all won, like, literally on a busted play in the fourth quarter inside, like, the last minute of that game last year, and you're not worried about that team?
Did we not beat Kentucky when they had their best team ever?
You beat the brakes off of them.
That's Kentucky,
right.
Though. That's Kentucky. They're going to find a way to lose that game. Like Tennessee's going to find a way to lose the Florida game.
Right. Their best season ever was 10 wins, and we beat that team last year.
Yeah.
When everybody thought they were going to thrash us because they had, so much of a defense. Their rushing offense is this and that, and then we end up beating them. Their quarterback is so great who transferred in, and then we seen him pout. It is what it is. You're right.
We haven't gotten to our first break yet.
Yeah, but to me, Kentucky, they're Kentucky. They're trending in the right direction. Not taking anything from Stoops at all. But for some reason, Tennessee always gives them problems, no matter how good or bad they are.
It's hard for me to look. It's just hard for me to believe in the dismissiveness right now. Already in June, you're already. We haven't gone through fall ball, and you're just like, nah. So is there anything that Kentucky can do if they come back? They return their quarterback. They've got that running back Rodriguez. They've got a pretty stout. They're pretty stout on the lines on both sides. Mark Stoops has done a good job in terms of solidifying a program and through consistency and better than average recruiting. Not fantastic, but better than average recruiting over about 9 years. He's the longest tenured SEC coach other than Nick Saban. I think he solidified that program to where, Kentucky fans, as long as their basketball team's winning, then they're all right? Yeah. So, but you don't. So y'all are not sweating. So Tennessee Homer Joe, is Kentucky in that list of the teams that we're gonna? If you these 5 teams or 4 or 5 are going to be the ones that are determined of whether or not it's a good season.
I've only got 2 teams that are going to turn the season around.
Okay.
And, we talked about this earlier. My 2 teams that are going to determine this.
Don't you dare say Alabama and Georgia.
Florida and LSU.
Okay.
Those are my 2 teams that are going to determine this season.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Pitt. Like Sam said, they lost their quarterback, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. Y'all do know that they got a transfer quarterback that was a 5-star coming out of high school.
But
he's not a Heisman candidate.
Besides Kenny Pickett.
He's not a Heisman
Well, the Addison Nichols kid, they lost Addison Nichols, their number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, their number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you can get all the quarterbacks in the world. You ain't got nobody to throw to. You ain't got nobody to throw to.
I still think Pitt. We'll get into this because at some point in this 2-hour show, one of the segments I want to get into your schedule and go game by game and trying to get our early predictions on that. We'll do that towards the later of the show, if you will. I think Pitt though. I think I can understand why you're saying that, but going up there one, here's the thing about those Narduzzi teams, though. They're really stout on that defensive line, and I think where their strengths right now are where your weaknesses are, and I don't think that plays into your favor. They're good on the defensive line. I think the Tennessee offensive line is going to have some questions. They need to answer it in fall ball. The questions that we don't have, or answers we don't have right now. They're able to sling the ball, and they can run the ball, things that on your defense can give you problems. I just don't like Willie Martinez back there in that secondary. I don't like Tennessee's secondary this year. So we'll see. You're right. They lost their quarterback and Addison Nichols. You don't get better losing those two guys. I get that. And it was a close game last year. I get all of that. I just think it's going to give you more problems than what Tennessee
Here's the
thinks.
thing. We also had Milton at quarterback starting that game as well.
So
Hooker makes a big difference between those two quarterbacks.
That game last year, we win that game last year with them having Pickett and Nichols.
Outside of that,
there you go. They change. I mean, you can make that argument. I'm still not convinced of that, but okay, whatever. That's good for our first break there, Ryan Lovelace. By the way, we got Ryan Lovelace, the runner extraordinaire. I'm kind of I'm a little bit. They've got a couple of signs here in the background. We've got an All-American track star as our fifth member and board member today. It's fantastic. Ryan, we appreciate you being here. Boys and girls out there in listener land, we appreciate you guys sticking with us. We're going to be here until 12 o'clock today, going over the 2022 preview for the college football season here in the SEC. You're listening to the Aubrey Strong Sauce SEC Football Hour live here in the house that Steve Hartline built across the street from Duracell. We got to go do the thing, the pace for this thing. We'll be back in a couple of clicks.
Stop by one of our 5 locations in Cleveland or Chattanooga and let us show you the difference our customers have come to expect. We strive to offer the latest banking technology, mobile wallet, online account opening, mobile banking with bill pay, and ATMs that allow cash or check deposit. All available 24/7 with a local community bank. Southern Heritage Bank, a division of First Citizens National Bank, member FDIC.
Traffic is horrible. Great. Time for another one of these.
Bite into the new Primal Burrito or Biscuit with prime rib at Hardee's. See Jurassic World Dominion now in theaters.
This weekend, wake up to huge savings on mattresses at Mermaid Mattress when you save up to $300 on Mermaid's 8-inch memory foam or our best-selling 2-sided Lindsay Line Anniversary Queen-Size Mattress. But only at Mermaid Mattress.
We're here at Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland.
We are here with great service. We're here. We're here.
We're here.
We're here with great deals. We're here for you.
So come get huge Nissan savings when you shop Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland and Cleveland-Nissan today. Home of the exclusive lifetime warranty.
Wholesale Supply Group, you've heard the name for years. The experts trust them, and you should too. Whether you're building, remodeling, or just maintaining your home, Wholesale Supply Group has all the plumbing, electrical, and HVAC products you need to supply any project. With great brands like Delta, Kohler, Rinnai, Mansfield, Progress Lighting, Square D, GE, and Milwaukee, Wholesale Supply has everything you need. Check out the locations in Cleveland, Chattanooga, Athens, Dayton, Madisonville, Dalton, and Chatsworth. Online, wholesalesupply.us. And remember, Wholesale Supply is open to the public.
Save a bundle at Eller & Owen's Furniture and Mattress. Furniture, mattresses, and decor. The more you buy, the more you save. Up to 40% off. Create a bundle, a sofa and chairs, end tables, a recliner, lamps and rugs, an entire room. Up to 40% off. Create a custom bundle and watch the savings grow. Up to 40% off. Look for Take Me Home Today tags. Bundle in-stock items. Special financing is available. Bundle and save at Eller & Owen's Furniture and Mattress.
Baskin-Robbins on Keith Street, locally owned by the Benton family in Cleveland for over 50 years. Within their 40 flavors of ice cream, they can build sundaes, make 40 different types of shakes, and add different ice creams to different products. You name it, they can make it for you. Enjoy Baskin-Robbins at home. Their take-home items include hand-packed quarts or pints, polar pizzas, and cakes. Baskin-Robbins, Keith Street, Cleveland. Dr. Eston Winger specializes in varicose vein surgery to help you live a fuller life.
Most everything that we do for varicose vein disease is done here in the office, and so a hospital stay is not required. We take most insurances here, and most vein procedures are covered by insurance, which most people don't realize. Or make an appointment, and I'd be happy to talk to you and evaluate your legs.
Schedule a consultation by phone 423-472-5423.
You need money overnight? Check into cash. Your time is tight. .com. Bank accounts too low? Check into cash. So where do you go? .com. Do it online in a record time. It's the easy way to get money next day. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. You can be sure it's secure from our bank straight to yours. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. Boom, boom, ba-dum, boom.
Big changes are happening. On July 31st, Ocoee OBGYN will be closing their doors after so many years of dedicated service to Cleveland and Bradley County. Dr. Ashcraft and Jeannie Lips will be going to Life Circle to further their careers and continue to meet the needs of their patients. Dr. Snowman and her whole staff would like to thank Cleveland and Bradley County.
And welcome back to the Aubrey Strong Sauce SEC Football Hour, a special preseason 2022 edition here live at the house that Steve Hartline built. Of course, I'm your self-proclaimed humble host, Michael Lawson, a.k.a. the Strong Sauce. Riding with my dogs, living like hogs, Big Country Sam Bowerman, Tennessee Homer Joe, the Cuz, Coach Robert Flowers, the track all-star over here pushing buttons and pressing names and all the other all the other things. Now, as we transition, real quick though, before I get into that, Lindy Davis, owner, publisher, and founder of Lindy Sports Magazine, will be joining us here at the bottom of the hour in a few short minutes to go over his publication, his what I call the Magna Carta of college football preview magazines. There are others out there, but this is personally, and I think professionally, the best one that is out there. It's the most exhaustive. Athlon, I don't want to dog the Athlon people because they may want to come on the show at some point. But Athlon, to me personally, they do a good job in other areas. But if you want a holistic, in-depth view, especially of the Southeast, any school in the Southeast, you can get a Lindy's and then check that out. Now, having said that, Lindy Davis will be here in a couple of minutes. Ryan Lovelace, of course, as the pre-mentioned, Ryan, dude, appreciate you being here. Now, you were telling a story earlier, though. You are, as everyone knows, you're an All-American track star. You have signed a scholarship to the local university, Lee University, but you could have gone anywhere with the times that you. And before we came into the show, you told a funny story about how you were at Iowa on an official visit, and would you say it was the Penn State game? And of course Iowa won. They lost to Kentucky in that bowl game, the team y'all don't care about. But the top 15 ranked Iowa wound up beating Penn State. They rushed the field. You were there for that. It was awesome. Then the very next week, where were you, and what was that like?
I was in Knoxville.
Yeah. What game?
It was the Ole Miss game.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, there's down the little recruit section, right in the front, people from the upper decks, mustard bottles, golf balls.
And so you made the observation that in 1 week everyone rushed the field in celebration. In the very next week, you had to rush the field off the field because you were being pelted with golf balls and mustard bottles.
That's crazy.
Anyway, I thought that was living. He's the only one in this room that was there that night.
Right, we're making memories,
and I know how you two feel about it.
Making memories.
Yeah, exactly.
He will always remember that recruiting trip for the rest of his life.
He definitely will. Okay, real quick now, before we get to the bottom of the hour, and we got Lindy Davis of Lindy Sports Magazine coming on. Let's get into a little bit his top 10, and we're going to get into the SEC. I want to break down at some point one of these segments. I want to break down Tennessee's schedule and go game by game, because that previous segment we were talking about some of these games. Y'all don't even agree on the teams that are going to be the fulcrum to the schedule. For me, I really do. You look at Alabama and Georgia. I think those are presumptive losses. Thank you very much. But then you have really legitimately Florida, LSU. You have an opportunity if you win all those other games and go 5-0 in these other 5 games. You're talking about a special season. And it would be special to go to LSU and to Pitt and then beat Florida for the first time in however long. That you start getting into you really start talking about momentum at that point. But then, can they really go 5-0? Do they go 3-2, and that gets you to 8-4? Like, I want to get into all of that right there and what those teams look like. But until we do that, let's break down real quick. Lindy's Sports Magazine has Alabama coming in at number 1. Is that surprising to anybody? I was not surprised to see Alabama number 1.
I'm not really surprised.
Yeah,
you got to wonder though. They kind of had a little bit of a drop off and a letdown last season. Is that going to carry on into this season? For Alabama,
has Nick Saban ever had been disappointed and come back and was Eeyore rather than Thor? I don't think so.
Yeah, the worst thing about it is their disappointing season just makes them come back even stronger.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it gets them back to
retire.
Roots.
Yeah.
Can we start that petition?
What next
Nick Saban, please retire.
I mean, it would make Kirby Smart's job a lot easier.
We get 1 million signatures. He's got to retire, right?
So number 2, I think you probably need 50 million, $1 million for every 10 million that he actually has in the bank. Number 2, Ohio State. Yeah. Everybody seems to be really high on Ohio State. C.J. Stroud, of course, is a Georgia boy and a quarterback from Georgia. He goes up there, took over the mantle from the other Georgia boy, who's now the quarterback at Chicago, Justin Fields, the much ballyhooed. That offense is going to be pretty good. I think Ryan Day. Then that's much like Tennessee. It's interesting because I know Tennessee and Ohio State have a history. They don't like each other very much.
We don't like anybody.
That's true. Y'all are just straight up haters. But Ohio State's a lot like Tennessee in some ways, in that they're. I don't think anybody questions their offense. Like, everybody knows what they're going to bring on the offensive side. Scoring points is not going to be an issue. Mm-hmm. If they run into a game where the scoring points is an issue, you could probably chalk that up as a loss. Yeah. But their defense was the issue. Last year, they got boat raced by Oregon. By boat raced, I mean Oregon put 40 on them or something like that. If you're going out and doing that, I don't know. They got to play Notre Dame this year. That's going to be an interesting game. Mm-hmm. We'll get into that a little bit later. But Ohio State, does that surprise you at all?
No.
Not going through the Big Ten.
With the division they're in,
Yeah. Then, of course, you have my beloved Georgia Bulldogs, number 3.
That's a surprise right
there. Reigning national champion, beloved in my heart, University of Georgia Bulldogs.
What year was that?
2021.
Oh, okay. We're in 22.
This is the preview.
I got you.
That's right.
Real quick, just to make a note.
Objects may appear closer in your rearview mirror than they seem. It hadn't been that far, big country.
Right. I got you.
In fact, I'm still, every time I'm in the shower, I'm like,
I'll say this. Congratulations, by the way.
Atlanta Braves.
Congratulations,
it was the greatest sports year in my lifetime. And after the travesty of the last, Alabama ripping our hearts out, my Falcons in the Super Bowl, may they rest in peace. I'm still waiting for the Undertaker to pop out of his. I think he's just down there.
Right.
My dirty birds are down and dirty.
Real quick note on Georgia. If y'all notice watching on TV there, these Georgia boys got their sunglasses on. They're ready for that letdown this season. Hiding their face already.
Mailman's going to be delivering them L's this year.
I mean, is that true? Like, y'all really, we'll get into that later. I mean, surely y'all don't think Georgia's going to do anything but maybe 11-1, 12-0. You think there's going to be a 10-2 season coming out?
I think it's possible. But we'll talk about it later. Yeah. I think you're going to have a bigger letdown.
The one that surprised me in this top 10 list, we got to really go through this real quick. Clemson at 4, A&M at 5. I thought that was a little high. Michigan at 6, Utah at 7, Notre Dame at 8, Oklahoma State at 9, and then Oklahoma at 10. Looking through that list, a couple that surprised me. One, Clemson at 4.